Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and to today's video. I hope you're all doing really well. So in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you 5 patterns that are on my sewing radar for autumn and winter this year, which is 2022. So I've been feeling really inspired for autumn and winter this year. I always used to find autumn and winter time a little bit sort of difficult for me sewing wise. I've always been much more inspired by sewing summer clothes. So things like viscose floaty dresses and blouses and things like that. So I thought I'd share with you today 5 patterns that I'm very much considering adding to my wardrobe this season. This year I really want to focus on making some sort of really good quality key pieces for my wardrobe. So quality over quantity, I guess. So I've been thinking about sort of really good wardrobe staples made from really lovely fabrics that I know will wash and wear well over time. So recently I did quite a big wardrobe clear out and there were quite a few things in there, handmade things as well as ready to wear, that I'd kind of got rid of. I don't like the word got rid of, but I'd donated or given away just because I'd sort of fallen out of love with the fabric. I didn't like wearing the fabric anymore, or the fabric had not washed or worn as well as I had hoped it would. So I think what I've learned from that is actually once I have made a pattern and I know I love it, to really focus on the kind of fabric that I'm using for that pattern and make sure that it's something that I'm really going to want to wear and that I know will sort of last me for quite a while. And another thing I really want to do for this coming season is actually try out some new pattern designers. So I'm very much kind of set in my ways at the moment, I think, of sticking with the pattern designers that I know. So Tilly and the Buttons, Megan Nielsen, True Bias. I find that I love those pattern designers and I'm very much drawn to them and their designs because I know that I like them. And I know often as well that their fitting will be good for me and I know what size to make and things like that, and I don't have any of that sort of sizing and fitting process to go through with them because I've used them so many times before. But recently I've ventured out a little bit and I've tried a couple of new to me pattern designers and I've been really pleasantly surprised actually by how I found the patterns. And yeah, I just really want to give a few more pattern designers a go. So in keeping with the autumn theme for this video, I have got my autumn floral display behind me and a candle on, but actually I am boiling hot. It's really funny weather here in the UK at the moment. So we're kind of in the middle of September, so we're transitioning really from summer into autumn, but it's really confusing weather, you don't know what to wear. It's kind of autumny in the morning and then throughout the day it gets really hot and it's been so muggy here in the UK. So it's not really summer weather, but it's not quite winter weather either. So today you can probably tell I'm back in a summer dress because I've been really warm and today it's quite warm as well. It's been quite sunny. So I'm wearing my Tilly and the Buttons indigo dress, which I've matched with the bottom of the Lyra dress pattern from Tilly and the Buttons. There you go, I am very set in my ways, aren't I? So yeah, this is a really good one for sort of transition time because today I'm wearing it not with sandals but actually with trainers and a denim jacket, and it's quite good for layering, so that's what I'm wearing today. So without any further ado and chit chat, let's get into talking about the 5 patterns that are on my radar for autumn and winter. So firstly, I want to make a trench coat. So this one has been sort of in my mind for quite some time actually, that I've wanted to make a trench coat. And actually I did consider it at the beginning of springtime and thought, oh, that would be a really good sort of spring jacket to have that you can wear as you're sort of transitioning into the warmer months. But then the thought just kind of didn't get taken any further really, and I forgot about it and carried on with the rest of my summer makes. But really that thought of making a trench coat has always been at the back of my mind, and it came up again when I was thinking about autumn and winter sewing. So I've been looking at trench coat patterns and there are quite a few lovely ones out there. And also not only in the sewing world, there are loads of lovely trench coats around on the high street. I saw a lovely one in John Lewis the other day. I think it might have been a Hobbs one. It was very expensive but very beautiful. So I have been eyeing up trench coats everywhere, and as I'm talking I'll just pop in a couple of inspiration images of coats I've seen on the high street, but also looks I've been seeing around on Pinterest as well. I really love how trench coats are being styled at the moment. So normally they're quite traditionally smart coats, aren't they? People would wear them for work and to offices and things like that. But I really like the look of sort of wearing them with jeans and trainers and casual wear as well. So yeah, I have been looking around at a couple of trench coat patterns. So this is the pattern that's kind of winning at the moment, and I'll pop an image in. This is the ready to sew Jack trench coat, and I'm just going to have it on my phone as well while I'm talking to you so that I can make sure that I get in all the details. So this, as you can probably see, is a more sort of relaxed style trench coat. So it doesn't have the sort of formality of a traditional trench coat, but I really like the take on this. It's much more relaxed. It still has some of the key features of a trench coat, so the collar and the lapels, and then the flap at the back, and I can't remember what that's called at the moment. Is it just called a vent or something? I don't know. But lots of trench coats have those, don't they? So it has that as well. But then it has a much more relaxed feel about it, so it's got a drawstring waist, really oversized pockets, and it has a more sort of curved cocoon style hem as well when it's all drawn in. And I really like the tie detail at the cuffs as well. So yeah, I'm really taken by this pattern. And when I was thinking about trench coats and whether I should make one, I was kind of thinking about whether or not a trench coat would actually fit in with my lifestyle. Because I'm quite a casual dresser really, I'm quite a lazy dresser, I don't really dress up smart very often. As I've mentioned before, a lot of my life involves walking the dog, doing school runs, working at home and things like that. So I don't often have the opportunity to kind of dress up smart, so I do think that this more relaxed style trench coat will really fit into my lifestyle well. So I absolutely love this one. And I just wanted to pop in here a picture of the lining of this trench coat because I think it's absolutely beautiful. I love the colour that they've chosen to pair the khaki trench coat with. I think it's really, really lovely. So I think it will be really fun to actually have a play around with the lining of this coat as well. The fabrics that are recommended are a cotton gabardine or a cotton tencel. So I'm going to have a look around for fabrics that might be suitable for this coat and see what I find. I know that on Minerva, Atelier Brunette have a really lovely cotton gabardine fabric. Probably quite pricey, but I'm going to have a look around and see what I can find. I don't think I've ever seen a cotton tencel, so I'm not quite sure what that would be like. I think it would be nice to actually have a fabric with a little bit of drape in it as well because of the sort of drawstring style of this jacket as well. So yeah, I'm going to have a look and see what I can find. But yeah, I'm really taken by this pattern. It would be quite a challenge for me, I think. There's definitely some elements in there that would be a trial, I think. For example, the vent at the back, which I was talking about, and the lapels and things like that. But I think I'm ready for the challenge because I think another thing I need to do this autumn is actually push myself a little bit out of my comfort zone. I haven't for a while now tried anything that I've not tried before. For example, coat making or trouser making or anything too fitted. So yeah, I think this will be a good one for my autumn winter sewing. So that's that one. The next pattern I'm thinking about buying for my autumn and winter wardrobe is the Anderson knit dress pattern by Stylark. So I'll pop in an image here of the this knit dress. So I'm very much a fan of wearing a super cozy knitted dress with leggings and tights and boots and things in the winter. It's probably something that I wear 90% of the time in winter, especially when I'm just at home. You know, or with the kids or whatever. It's just a really comfy, cozy thing to wear. So I do have my beloved Billy dress by Tilly and the Buttons, which I've made a few times and I really like. But I think this year I'm in the market for a new jumper dress, and this one really caught my eye. I really like the relaxed style of this one. So this one is quite a long dress. I'd quite like to wear it above the knee, so I might need to shorten it. I'll have to have a look. But I really like the style of this one. So it has some panels in the jumper down the front. And there's also inseam pockets as well. Just doing a little demonstration there. And it has lovely relaxed raglan seams as well. And the neckline is quite wide. So yeah, really like the design of this pattern. I think because of the paneling and everything, there's the option for colour blocking and playing around with patterns and fabrics and things like that. So I think it will be a really interesting one and a real good one, I think, that you can just have in your pattern collection and pull out and make it in lots of different ways. So obviously in the example on the pattern image here, it does have a bottom band. But I'm actually wondering if you could leave off the bottom band and just have it as a sort of uncuffed hem. That isn't the right way of saying it at all, but you know what I mean, hopefully. So a bit more of a dress rather than a sweatshirt dress, if you know what I mean. And it doesn't actually give you any fabric recommendations on the Minerva website, but I think for me, I'd probably go for a really lovely soft fleece back sweatshirt in fabric, and I think that would be super cozy and a really good casual one for autumn and winter. So that's that one. Another pattern that I'd really like to add to my autumn-winter wardrobe is the Anthea blouse by Anna Allen. So this one has been a super popular pattern over on Instagram. I've seen so many lovely versions of this pattern, and I've thought about it and weighed up whether or not I'd like to buy the pattern, and I didn't, because I did think it was quite similar to the Norma blouse pattern by Fibre Mood, pop in an image here, which I already have, and obviously the necklines are slightly different on this pattern, and I think the gathering of the sleeves is slightly different, so they do have their differences. But for me, because I had the Norma pattern, I just thought I'm not going to invest in the Anthea blouse as well. But the version that I want to make of the Anthea blouse is actually not the standard version, but the hacked version, which Anna Allen has over on her blog or her website. So I believe that if you download and buy the Anthea blouse pattern, you can actually buy or be sent for free the hacked version add-ons. So I'll just pop in an image of the hacked version here in case you haven't seen it. I hadn't seen it actually until around summertime, when a really lovely version popped up on my feed. But the hacked version is actually so far removed, I think, from the original version that I actually thought it was a different pattern. So with the hacked version, the neckline is quite a bit lower than the original version. It has a lovely small frill around the neckline which ties up, and then it still buttons down at the front. And it has these really lovely puff sleeves with a big sort of poofy elasticated bottom, which I really like. It's really sort of cottagecore, peasant style, and yeah, I was really attracted to this blouse. I think for me, because I want this in the colder months, I might actually have a look and see if I could easily lengthen the sleeves to be full length sleeves, because I think these are the kind of sleeves where they're not going to be very comfortable underneath a cardigan, and possibly towards sort of winter time you're going to get a bit chilly with just a short sleeve. So I think it would be really nice as a long sleeved version if it's easy enough to do. I'll have to buy it and have a look at the pattern. I haven't actually bought it yet or anything, but I do think I have the perfect fabric for this blouse. So you might remember me sharing this fabric in a previous vlog. I've been back and forth on what to make with this, but it's absolutely beautiful and I love it so much. I'll undo it so that you can see a bit more the pattern on this. It's so autumnal. So I actually bought this back in the summertime. It's an Atelier Brunette viscose crepe. Really lovely and really silky. And originally I think I was going to make a McCall's 7969, I think, the really popular one with the wrap front and puffy sleeves. But I'm just not sure about that pattern. I think it would be too low on me, so I didn't make it in the end. So this fabric has kind of been sitting around and I've been wondering what to make with it. And I just think that this print would actually suit that blouse perfectly. And I think it would be a lovely one, a lovely colour for autumn and winter. And even though this is a viscose crepe, it's actually got quite a bit of weight to it and it's quite soft. So I do think it would actually be reasonably warm for the colder months if you wore something thermal underneath it or something. So yeah, I really think that that will be a good match, and I'd really like to have a go at that hack in this fabric. And I think you could probably make this blouse from a range of fabrics really. I think obviously a viscose or a crepe or a rayon is going to have a really lovely drape to it. But also I've seen some really lovely versions in like cotton lawns and viscose linens and things like that. So I think it's a really good one to use for lots of different fabrics. So let me know if you have made this blouse, and let me know if you've made the hack, and any tips that you might have on how to do it and how it went and everything. That would be great. Let me know in the comments below. So that's another one. The next pattern I'd really like to make for autumn winter time is one that I've shared quite recently actually, and it's this one. It's the Tilly and the Buttons Jesser trousers. I had to have a Tilly pattern in there somewhere, didn't I? So this one I originally brought to make the shorts with and have never got around to for one reason or another, mainly fear, because I have never made a pair of fitted trousers, and I think it's now time. So I do think that I need to challenge myself a little bit more with my sewing. I have been a little bit stuck in a rut recently of making things that I know I can do easily. So I think it's possibly time to challenge myself and have a go at making a fitted pair of trousers. And since I've had this pattern in my stash for so long and it hasn't even been opened, I think this is possibly a good one to start with. So I'm sure you've probably seen this pattern before. You can either make the dresses as a long pair of trousers, or you can make them as a pair of flared shorts, sort of A-line style shorts. They have a fly zipper, which is another thing that I've never made or had a go at, so I really do want to have a go at making a fly zipper and see how I get on with that. And then it has this sort of lapped button band thing here. So sort of a traditional style trouser opening, I guess. So yeah, I'd really like to make a pair of these for autumn winter time. I think wide leg trousers and jeans are really in at the moment, so now is the perfect time. And I think I'd actually like to make a pair of these from a really light denim. So by light I sort of mean weight wise light, so maybe even like a chambray with quite a lot of structure to it or something like that. I think that would work really nicely. So not a full-on pair of denim jeans, but just a sort of a comfy pair of jeans or trousers that look like jeans. So I've actually got a pair of trousers similar to this from Next, and they're made from a sort of a quite structured jersey knit. So they hold their shape really nicely and they're so comfy to wear, and I was wondering if I could get something similar to that, or maybe like a chambray or something that's got a bit of tencel in it, or something that's just a little bit more comfy to wear than full-on denim. So if you have seen anything like that, then let me know. And also if you've made this pattern before, let me know how you got on with it and any tips that you might have. But yeah, I do think a pair of these would work well in my wardrobe. I could wear them with knitted jumpers, crop jumpers. They would look lovely with my Ampere blouse, for example. But yeah, I just think that with wide legs and flares being really in at the moment, I think it would be a really good one to do at this time of year. So I think the time has come to push myself and have a go at this pattern. So that's that one. So finally on my list is another shirt dress. So I think I'm in need of another shirt dress in my life. I've made to death the Tilly and the Buttons Lyra dress, and also the Darling Ranges dress as well, and the Maya Sotis dress. I love all three of those patterns. And I love that style, so I don't really want to go away from the sort of button down shirt style dress. But I really want to bring into my wardrobe a couple of maxi style shirt dresses. So I have quite a few midi length dresses which work really nicely for me in the summertime, but I think when it comes to winter time they don't really work too well with tights and boots, because you've just got that funny sort of gap between where the skirt ends and where your boots start. So I think I'm gonna make a couple of maxi dresses for my winter wardrobe. And one pattern that's caught my eye is the Atelier Dupe Tilde shirt dress. So again, Atelier Dupe is another new pattern company, or new to me pattern company I should say. I know they've probably been around for quite a while. I think they've been around more for fabrics, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, they might just be newly introducing patterns into their range. But when I was searching around for a maxi shirt dress pattern, I came across this one and I really liked it. So I'll put in an image here so you can see what it looks like. So as you can see, it's a fully button down dress. It looks like a midi length on the model here, but I'm pretty sure if I make it at the standard length of the pattern, it will be pretty much maxi length, if not more on me, because I normally need to shorten things. So if I make a midi dress pattern at the length given, it will probably end up maxi on me anyway. If not, then I may need to lengthen it slightly. So this is a really nice one. It has quite a lot of sort of traditional shirt features. So it has the collar on a stand, it has a back yoke, it's fully buttoned down as I say, and it has some really nice sort of delicately gathered sleeves with some cuffs at the wrist as well, which I think are 3/4 length, but I'm sure you could probably easily lengthen them if you wanted to. So yeah, this dress really caught my eye and I thought it would be another good one to try, another new pattern company to try as well. And I know that Atelier Dupe has some really lovely fabrics in their range as well. I also with this one love the fact that it's got a tie belt again, because I think that gives it quite a nice relaxed style, and I believe you can make this one with the full sort of shirt collar, or you can make it with a mandarin collar as well, depending on what you prefer. I think I'd probably make it with a full sort of collar on a stand, because even though I don't like anything too high, you can obviously wear it open if you prefer. So for this one, I think you could probably make it in a variety of different fabrics, depending on how you wanted your dress to look. For me, I think I'd like a nice drapey sort of floaty style maxi shirt dress, and I'd really like to make it with a black base, because my go-to colour really is navy, but I do find that in the winter time it's quite hard to pair navy with tights and boots, because tights and boots are often black, and I think navy and black doesn't necessarily go very well together, or not for me anyway. So I need to introduce a couple more sort of black based items into my wardrobe for winter time. So I think if I do go ahead and make this shirt dress, I'd really like it to have a black base, and maybe like, I'm really liking black and brown prints at the moment, so maybe like an animal print, a viscose or something like that, or something similar to that lining of the trench coat that I showed you earlier. I think that would be really nice as well, and I think that would be a really good staple to have for winter time, that you can just wear with boots or trainers or whatever. So yeah, I'm loving that one. Let me know again if you've tried any Atelier dupe fabrics or patterns and what you think of them. So those are my 5 sewing patterns, and I'm just going to include a bonus knitting pattern that I'd really like to make for autumn and winter time. So I want to introduce another stripy jumper to my wardrobe. I love a good stripe. So last year, you'll remember that I made the Lighthouse sweater by We Are Knitters. And I think because of the colour scheme and the fact that it's stripy, I've worn that jumper so much. It's definitely my most worn knitted garment. So I've been looking around for other stripy knitted jumper patterns that I've seen on Instagram and on the web and things like that. One that I've seen and that I'd really possibly like to try is this one by We Are Knitters, and I don't know how to pronounce the name of this one. So I'll put in the name here in case you want to go and search it. Don't know how you say that. But anyway, I've seen this one on the We Are Knitters website, and although it does have quite a high neck, it's quite a wide neck, so I don't think this one will irritate me. And I really like the stripiness of this one as well. It's a really nice, easy knit. It's actually listed as one of their beginner patterns, so I think it'll be a really good one to just sort of sit and knit in the evening while you're watching telly, not too much to think about. And this one's actually made from recycled yarn as well, so that'll be an interesting new yarn to try and see what that feels like. I'm guessing it's going to be more of a sort of cottony feel than maybe a fluffy wool, so possibly not that warm, but if I do end up buying this kit, of course I will show you what the yarn is like and everything. And I really like the green and white that they've used in this pattern as well, because that's quite different for me. I normally go for like a navy and white or black and white. So yeah, that's the stripy jumper that's top of my list at the moment. I'm really excited for knitting in the autumn and winter time, but of course knitting takes so much longer, doesn't it, than sewing. So there are a few knitting projects that I do have in my head that I'd really like to knit. So obviously this stripy jumper, or a stripy jumper. And I'd also really like to make a fluffier version of my Whitmore cardigan, because I love that one too, and make it in a more sort of neutral style, so that it goes with more things. I love my pink cotton version, but it's definitely more of a sort of summertime, sort of now time really, transitioning into autumn. I don't think it's going to be that cosy for winter, so it'd be really nice to have a fluffier one of those in my wardrobe as well. So those are my 5 and 1 bonus patterns that I'm considering for autumn and winter time this year. Stay tuned to see how those plans evolve, and of course if I do end up buying these patterns, I will let you know all about them, and I'll be sharing them and the fabrics that I choose for them in my upcoming fabric hauls and sewing plans videos and things like that. So yeah, stay tuned. Let me know what you think of the patterns that I'm thinking of making, and I'd love to know in the comments whether you've made any of them and what you thought of them. And also let me know in the comments as well what you have on your autumn and winter radar. I'd love to know the plans that you have for this autumn and winter time. It's really exciting, I think. I really love the changing of the seasons. I think that's why I love living in England so much, because there's such a defined change in seasons, and I really like it. I love coming up to autumn time. I think October and November are possibly my favourite time of the year. I really enjoy the sort of transition into cosy, and I love all the colours, and going out for sort of really cold walks and coming back for hot chocolate and cup of tea and sitting down and watching Strictly in the evenings at the weekend. All of that autumn goodness to come. So yeah, I am really excited for autumn time. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'd really love to have you as a subscriber. I post regular sewing and knitting content here on my channel, mainly on a Sunday morning at 8 AM. Thanks so much again for watching, everyone. Take care, and I'll look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.